You can find our report on page 220. As we mentioned last year, we were more prepared for the pandemic than maybe we would have been. In 2019, we went slightly over budget. You'll see in 2020, we were slightly under budget. I will warn you now, we are far over budget in 2021. It has cost us a lot to get the equipment that we need. We noticed at the end of last night's service, many of the pastors who usually congregate around each other were around the cameramen in this room asking them questions, because most of us have realized that our AV teams are understaffed, underserved, and probably under-budgeted. I'll use my church as an example. We tripled our usual AV budget last year because, of course, in March, we needed to do far more online than we had ever done before. Most of you know that this year we began streaming, or in 2020, we began streaming the leadership conference in addition to the national convention. I'll share some of those numbers in just a second. This morning, we added the streaming of the WNAC, and we are happy to stream as much as possible. However, every year we have a budget, and there are some things that are outside of our control. Every year the convention moves from site to site. Some sites, the internet speed is great and the rate is great. There have been years where the convention site has tried to charge us more than $10,000 for an internet hookup. We need that hookup to stream the services. There are some cities we know are going to be more affordable. There are some we are not sure about. So each year we do our best to use the equipment that we have, but our equipment has needed to be upgraded, and it has been upgraded this year. So we would say the same thing that everybody is telling you. We have great needs, and on top of that, we know that the Together Way giving is down. So our encouragement is this: when you give to the Together Way, you may never consider that some of it ends up in the Media Commission's hands, but we try our best to use those resources to continue streaming what we have been streaming, and then each year to stream additional services. On top of that, over the last 2 nights, our Facebook numbers have been over 17,000 views. And I will say this about that: if your church has been streaming this year, I don't want you to be discouraged, as you've probably noticed that this time last year when your church streamed, you may have had dozens, hundreds, or thousands of views on a video. You are probably noticing this year when you look at your Facebook report that those views are maybe 10, 15% of what they were a year ago. That is because Facebook is actually reporting truer numbers to you this year than they were last year. They were counting every 3-second view as a person. Now, I would love to count every 3-second viewer as a member of my church. That is not how it works. So what we anticipated was for our numbers to be down this year, but we actually have triple the shares on last night and the night before's videos, and we have about the same engagement as far as video views as last year. And what that tells us is that we were actually doing far better because we're having more engagement, more than 400 unique comments. That being said, we're excited about the future. We've made some investments in our equipment. And one thing I will say about this, we are here to help and serve you guys. We have created a page for media team members. I know that most of you have a media team member in your church who is a volunteer, and they need resources, they need help, they need to connect with people who can help them. Over the last year, we have answered numerous questions, like a lot of these commissions have, about technology on our Facebook page. If you have questions, reach out to us. We will do our best to direct you to the best product, to the best streaming service, to the best connections. But that being said, we are excited about what we're going to continue to do into the future, but we also know that costs are going to continue to rise. So I want you to think about this. If you are streaming right now, our encouragement would be for you to watch how this convention is streamed. We have lots of volunteers on our team. We have volunteers in this place. We have the IPG technicians. And one of the differences between just streaming a service and engaging people is what you do before the service and after the service. When you get home, you're already in the house. You're going to watch this. You're going to be involved tonight. I would encourage you to go back and watch the Facebook service, because 30 minutes before the service begins, there are hosts. Sometimes it's some of us on the Media Commission, sometimes it's people we grab out of the hallway, and they talk, and they encourage people, and they share why they come to the convention, what they're doing, why that matters. We're interviewing international missionaries, church planters. I would encourage you to take that home with you. If you think that just recording for people what is happening in your building is going to engage them into returning, you probably need to invest in a pre-show, even if you pre-record it. At our church, we didn't have the technology to get out in the lobby live, so we'd record some of our pastors or leaders or staff in the hallway. And when you record and people can watch, hear a host, and see who's at church, who they're not connecting with that has already returned, that makes a great difference. We're here to help any way that we can. We don't have all the answers, but we would love to help you guys as you connect with people online, and remembering that the online experience is a first step to welcoming people into your congregation in the physical space, sharing the gospel with them, and I would encourage you guys to use that technology. Before I close, we have a presentation for Daniel Edwards. He will be coming off of our board this year. Josh Owens has a gift for him, and we want to honor and recognize him for years of service. And we know that Daniel serves in a lot of capacities inside of our convention. He has numerous hats and roles, not just at his church, but at home and also in this movement. And so, Daniel, we appreciate the years of service. We hope you'll accept this small token of our appreciation. Thank you, Daniel. Brother Moderator, that is our report.